Imagine that you're when you learn how to swiftly and significantly increase your own worth. When you see someone in public who piques your interest, let's use a man as an example. Suppose you find a beautiful woman in a crowded place. You give her a 9 for attractiveness and decide to approach her to strike up a conversation. However, as you get to know her, you discover that she speaks loudly and frequently uses slang. In addition, her manner displays a lack of femininity and delicacy, which exacerbates the problem when a friend approaches her. Whispering that she was seeing 8 men that evening, you became less interested in her. If you had previously given her a 9, you now give her a 6. In other words, her actions have caused you to think less of her. Now, let's expand the situation to include men as well. Men's perceptions of women can also be influenced by their behavior. For example, if a friend discreetly informs you that this man has been involved in questionable activities all evening, your initial opinion of him as a high-value person begins to erode if you previously gave him an 8 out of 10. Let's say you meet a man at a social gathering who strikes you as charming and self-assured, but as the conversation goes on, he starts acting hey, using foul language and acting disrespectfully toward other people. Regardless of gender, his actions can cause you to reassess and drop his rating to a 5 or 6 in both circumstances. Behavior plays a major role in how people are perceived and valued in social settings, especially for women. As such, maintaining or increasing one's perceived value in the eyes of others depends on acting with consideration and respect. Your behavior has a big impact on how other people view your worth as a guy, and if you conduct in a way that devalues yourself, fewer people will likely find you attractive. Let me share some behaviors that high-value guys avoid doing if they want to be like them. Stop behaving this way. Your worst behaviors severely degrade your value, can lead to serious problems, and negatively impact men's perceptions in general. They also serve as a clear hint that you are impressed. I'm referring to a man's mentality that, when he sees a lovely woman, behaves like a dog spotting a steak. Interpersonal attraction is greatly influenced by behavior, especially in encounters between men and women. For those who aspire to be among high-value guys, it is important to call attention to specific actions they avoid. Being overtly impressed is problematic because it significantly lowers the sense of your value. Additionally, this behavior not only presents personal difficulties, but also feeds negative stereotypes about masculine behavior in general. Women are unlikely to be drawn to you if your behavior conveys a devaluing attitude. I'm referring to a man's mindset that reacts to a gorgeous woman in a similar way to a dog that notices a tasty piece of meat. As a result, it is possible to cultivate a more positive reputation and draw in women who value civility and maturity by being aware of and continuing to learn from these habits. The path to become a high-value guy is being genuine, showing respect for others, and being conscious of how your actions affect how other people regard you. Juicy. When you see an attractive, sly woman, if you immediately turn your neck to look at her, stare, or even make a move, you convey the message that you don't know how to relate to an attractive woman, which impresses me so much it signals desperation and neediness, suggesting that you crave attention. This display of neediness and lack of respect puts you in the group of less respectable men. Never want to belong to that group. Women look down on these guys. If you act this way, stop. If you have a friend who acts like this, tell him to stop. Men who behave like this. Give women grounds to complain about harassment, saying that men are intrusive and repugnant. Even if a woman may seem beautiful and perfect, believe me, they have flaws like any other person, and many of these flaws only become evident when you get to know them better. They become apparent when you interact with them, because average men don't interact with these women. They overlook their flaws and believe that they are flawless beings from another planet. However, when a low-value man sees a beautiful woman wearing ostentatious clothing, he is quickly impressed and gives the woman room to complain, thereby enhancing her ego. Remarkably, a high-value man can walk past the same woman and make her feel completely invisible. This is the difference between him and the average and desperate man. In addition, men of high worth refrain from seeking validation from women, a common behavior among ordinary guys that gives them the impression that women approve of them. If you behave in this manner, you're not acting like an alpha male. Instead, you're acting more like the majority of mediocre and insecure males. Some men even go so far as to ask a woman if she likes them. A self-assured man who is in tune with his manly side would not act in this way. Instead, he will not need the woman's approval since he is self-assured. Another characteristic of high-value males is their inability to make decisions when among women, whether as friends or family. How often do you ask these people what they want to accomplish? Or how often do they give you instructions and you just comply with your own desires? Elevated worth. Guys almost never act in this manner because they are always conscious of their low-value aims and goals in life. Man does not realize that when he tells someone they can do anything they want or asks for advice, he is effectively admitting that he cannot make decisions for himself, let alone others. In addition, he seeks approval by sacrificing his own desires in order to please others. Undervaluing your attention is the fourth thing high-value men do wrong. Time and attention are the most valuable resources in a society where billions of people vie for your attention, and everyone is always on their phones. Many men are perplexed as to why some women flirt and talk to them, but never pursue a conversation. It's important to understand that both sexes are capable of manipulating others, and that although men value attention, women may value it even more. For this reason, some women may flirt or make vague remarks to give the impression that they are interested, even if they never intended to engage. It's similar to throwing a line into the ocean and accidentally catching a fish, even though you know you won't keep it, but you still. The truth is that in this subtle game, some women may seek attention without necessarily seeking a genuine commitment. To better understand this phenomenon, it is important to recognize that men and women value attention in distinct ways. In today's world, where everyone is constantly connected to their devices, attention has become a valuable resource. Men often wonder why, even after moments of conversation and flirting, some women don't progress to a deeper relationship. While both men and women enjoy attention and being noticed, women frequently equate attention with a deeper emotional connection in certain interactions. Men may flare or project interest merely to feel desired, without genuinely wanting to take the relationship to the next level. This can be compared to recreational fishing, where the act of hooking the fish is the main objective rather than necessarily the intention to keep the fish. Understanding these subtleties is vital to prevent misunderstandings and make sure that everyone is on the same page regarding expectations. In the end, attention is valuable, but sincerity and intentions are just as important for developing meaningful relationships, if you can pull this off. Women frequently act the same way toward men, acting as though they're curious about how easy it would be to seduce them. Many men also use this tactic, but most of the time it's because they genuinely want to win the person over. When women do this, it can be summed up in one way. Every time a woman casts a line into the ocean, she usually manages to attract the attention of about 15 fish, whereas a man may be lucky to attract 2 or 3. This is because women understand the value of their attention, whereas many men don't fully recognize the power of their own attention. Men have limited attention and time each day, so if we want to be successful, we need to make sure that we're directing that attention to things that help us grow in life. Most women rarely give their attention for free because they recognize the value it holds for the average man. Men compete with women all around the world for their attention, and the majority of them gladly give it to people who may not even like them. This focus dynamic is like a subtle game that permeates many social interactions between men and women. In the current context where we are immersed in a flood of information and stimuli, attention has become a precious and contested commodity. Men often find themselves competing for this attention, often without realizing the significant value that their own attention carries. It's interesting to note that while some men adopt the strategy of freely giving attention in the hope of capturing a woman's interest, many women tend to be more selective about who receives their attention. This selectivity is not just a flirting strategy, but often a manifestation of an intrinsic understanding of the value of attention in the current social landscape. On the other hand, when men distribute their attention indiscriminately, offering it to women who may not show genuine interest, they risk appearing needy or uninteresting. It is crucial to recognize that, as in the fishing game mentioned earlier, the true value of attention lies not only in attracting it, but also in strategically directing it to areas that genuinely matter for personal and professional growth. In a society where attention is a scarce resource, focused men who wish to build sincere and meaningful relationships may discover that being dynamic is essential. This involves appreciating one's attention and deliberately concentrating it on areas that, when a high-value man needs to respond to a message, advance personal growth can make all the difference. Unlike many men who might easily and carelessly give away their attention, a man of high value knows how to strategically use his attention and recognizes that it is a limited resource, so he directs it intentionally, investing it in areas that contribute to personal and professional growth. Women, because the focus is on creating a mindset where time is deliberately allocated to produce profits, personal growth, and the pursuit of important goals. Discerning about where they allocate their attention and appreciating a man who values his own attention creates a dynamic where both parties recognize the significance of the exchange, rather than a high-value man scattering his attention aimlessly and deliberately, channeling it towards endeavors that align with his ambitions and positively contribute to his life. This deliberate approach not only increases a man's sense of self-worth, but also improves the quality of relationships he builds based on mutual respect and on shared goals before anything else. He is engrossed in his responsibilities, thinking about his business, the advertisements he needs to create, the classes he needs to attend, whether they are for English or guitar, the physical workouts he needs to complete, and all while finding time to spend with friends and enjoy their company. In this balance, he not only values himself, but also the woman, realizes that attracting this man is a difficult task, which makes her cherish him. Did you also realize how much a lady might value you more when you change your routines and behaviors? This man values his time, naturally, making others, especially women, perceive the rarity of receiving his full attention by focusing on developing his skills and participating in educational activities. He also shows a determined approach to life by managing his responsibilities in a balanced manner and focusing on his goals, keeping up a fitness regimen and taking care of his friendships. This man creates a lifestyle that not only benefits him personally, but also portrays him as a complete and interesting person. This tactic draws attention from women and increases his value in a relationship. Changing habits and behaviors to live a more fulfilling life also greatly contributes to personal growth, because this man makes an investment in continuous improvement. This man stands out as someone valuable and captivating to further increase your value. Stay away from the scenarios mentioned above. Click the comments link to watch the exclusive video. Fix a channel subscription and show a little affection. In order to thank you for your like and go on to the next video, click the bell. The unique movie, which you can watch by clicking the comment link, will give you insightful advice on how to improve your presence and approach even further. Expressing affection, whether in person or online, helps to foster sincere and fulfilling relationships. Avoiding the aforementioned circumstances is a crucial first step toward raising your own worth. By purchasing a channel subscription, you can access informative content and sage counsel on a continuous basis. Turning on the bell to receive notifications with the newest videos will ensure you don't miss any. Not only does loving the video demonstrate your support, but it also draws more visitors to the channel. I sincerely appreciate your involvement, and I hope to see you in the next video, where we'll talk even more about how to advance your own growth and achievement route.